Welcome to Spiritual Rebirth Tarot. I'm Madelyn, your tarot reader and energy healer. So nice to have you here for this new moon in Capricorn reading. So it is all about manifesting into our lives these great new energies of career and finance and lifelong purpose and lifelong goals. And so during this time, we'll really have a strong feeling of kind of looking at things from a longer perspective. So in these energies, I'd like to start with two oracle cards, one for what we have manifested in the past and what we will be looking toward in the future. So kind of like the past and the future of the new moon. And then we'll also take a look at some tarot to go with these cards. So, we will end with a wellness card from the Abraham Hicks deck. So please watch all the way to the end and we'll take a look at that. So let's start by asking for divine guidance. Okay, so the first thing is we put some Reiki energy into the deck. We ask for the past and then the future. So Madelyn and Kairos. Blue eyes, beautiful. Underneath is the empty room. I have been getting this card constantly, like literally every day. And the more I read it, the more it just really emphasizes, the importance of meditation, of emptying ourselves, so that we become a vessel that can be pregnant with all of the possibilities of the universe. And as we empty ourselves, as we let go of the things, it says the empty room is both the most empty and the most full of life and opportunity. And so we kind of long for that place and that space in our lives and then also I think of it as the 5D, entering the 5D, the kind of empty universe that's out there. So that is a card that I keep getting a lot. So Kairos is one of the ones at the end, 76. And this medallion is more toward the beginning, 59. It's the number. So let's look at Kairos first. And the past, so what we have been working on, the things that we have been looking at, lessons that we have learned, or for some of you, it's hard to know exactly where you are in the quarter or the course and order of things. So let me hold that. Okay, so Kairos, mythic time, synchronicity. So we have all had the experience of timelessness. And that kind of reminds me of that empty room, timelessness, of life beyond the ticking of the clock. It may be felt as time standing still, slow motion, or losing track of time on a walk or in a lovely conversation. This is known as mythic time, and it is territory of Kairos. This card suggests there is a secondary time continuum that goes beyond our earthly clocks and schedules. So it's kind of like when we come to Earth, we enter this linear time, and our physical bodies are part of the linear time. And I think that's hard, part of what's hard for us with this concept of manifestation, because our souls are so used to being in a environment that's such a high frequency, and it doesn't have the constraints of the earth around us. And so we just think, well, whatever we want will just come to us. But here, we have the linear order of time. We're here to learn lessons. There's so many times I will just simply ask that, God, will you heal this for me, unless you have a lesson that you want me to learn. There's so many reasons why we're here in this space-time continuum on Earth for us to learn. Within this non-linear realm, so the Kairos is non-linear, we access divine timing. A single moment ripens with auspiciousness, and our actions change the trajectory of our whole life. So those times are often a pivot or a change within our linear time. Time becomes a living thing that watches over us and tells us precisely when to speak or act. When this card appears, it is all about patience and precision. No clock can guide you. Wait for the rush of inner knowing and not a moment longer. So this card kind of points to those moments when time changes or time is flexible in your life. And I'm kind of noticing a few things. One is this kind of looks like scales around the eyes. So maybe you have a dragon, and dragons are kind of out of time. And then this eye is watching all things, watching and waiting to see when it needs to put you into this divine timing mode and to pivot your life. So during this recent past, during the past, you could say the full moon coming back into the new moon, like shrinking, there has been times where you have experienced Kairos in your life. And I like the sides of the book too. Compare the Greek words chronos and kairos. This will guide you to an understanding of logos and mythos. So take a look at some of these traditional Greek words, chronos and kairos. And then here, the word evil comes from the root unripe. Consider that everything that has a time ripeness, when it becomes a nourishing fruit, sweet to the lips. So there are times when things aren't ripe and they aren't ready. And I think that's what we learn about, like quote unquote manifesting things into our life, that yes, it really isn't nearly as much about when am I going to get that $10,000? And yes, that can be manifested into your life, but more significantly, it's creating that flow and going with the flow. And that was in the Earth reading this coming week, was all about the flow. So alignment, ease in decisions and action. So when you're in alignment in light, you'll be in alignment and ease in directions and action. When you're out of alignment in the dark, you'll be fighting against time. So the things you can kind of look for are Felix Gonzalez Torres's Untitled Perfect Lovers. So, okay. So that is the first card, the Kairos. So the thing that we have been learning in the past 2 weeks is more about the fluidity of time. And medallions, the future. Looks like we're going to be going into some money. I think this time of Capricorns, has a lot of that. Let's see here. I love these Roman numerals. L-I-X. No. I'm sorry. Okay. The amulet, the talisman, the heirloom. So like this ring is an heirloom from my grandma, as well as this one when she passed away. And this one's from the Native Americans here in the Southwest in New Mexico. The passing on of sacred objects is an ancient ritual within families, between lovers, and in tribes across the globe. We gift jewels, treasures, keepsakes, and mementos of all kind, some of great material value, others that hold emotional resonance, and still others with both. Yet, when these gifts are bestowed upon us, it is important to recognize that they may bind us to an unspoken agreement or promise. When the medallion card appears, so they may bind us to unspoken agreements as well as spoken ones. The medallion card appears, beware of how the objects you hold dear may be embedded with unconscious energy or expectations. Like one of the things that I did with these rings is I put a lot of Reiki energy in them, both to clear them and to energize them with unconditional love, so that if there were any, past things from any of my ancestors in them, those would be wiped away, and I wouldn't be carrying those. So it is important to look at what things that we're holding may have. Materials hold consciousness, and it's time to reconcile the vibration of the objects around you. What do you covet and collect, and why? Is there an object you have held on to for years that you are ready to release? Perhaps it's time to reach for the medallion that aligns with your deepest values. Ooh, that'd be kind of scary. For the medallion that's in your life that is connected to the deepest values that you have need to be modified or corrected or moved away from its spotlight, and to realign your values. So in this next 2 weeks, you're being called to look at your values and look at your possessions. See if any of the possessions that you have are no longer for your highest and best good. And then also within your... so if the possessions in your home are cluttering your home, that will increase your cluttered mind. And if the possessions are holding energies that you don't want to have in your home, you need to let those go. At the same time, it could be pointing to like a marriage, some kind of legal contract in your life, a partnership, a business that you own, some form of legal partnership that you need to let go of and move on from. So you can see this person is, reaching up toward this object. And so should you move the object away so you can see the sun from behind? Is it blocking your view? Okay, so do you believe that objects contain supernatural properties? When have you experienced that to be true? So that's something you could share with me in the comments. I would love to know if you had any direct experience with objects. Imagine if you and your family, school, or social group had a crest, emblem, or amulet. What would it be? And draw it. That's cool. It's interesting. A friend of mine got married back when, I was still in college. And when he got married, I made a crest for them. And so it was one of those crests, like a family crest. And each of the 4 sections has something that one or the other of them enjoyed. You know, some together and some separately. Like he climbs mountains, you know, so that was one of the sections. So the crest was indicative of what really meant something to them, and it was their family crest to hang on their wall. So that's kind of really nice. It was actually in their wedding as well. So I made it for their wedding, and then, and then they took it to their home afterwards. Wonder if they still have it. So let's take a look at the tarot. Anything more we need to know about the past, Kairos, and understanding time and the fluidity of time. Yeah, this is from underneath the deck. Oh, and the King of Pentacles is there too. There's a ton of pentacles here. And this new moon is in Capricorn. Wow, that's not surprising at all. It's all earth energy. You know, we have the 3, 4, 7, and King of Pentacles. So we have a progression. And within that progression, you know, we have the 4 of Pentacles here where they're holding on tightly, and they may be holding on tightly because they've had this lack in the past. But you can see that I don't usually make my cards reverse, so if it is, then I feel like it was meant to be that way. And so the 4 of Pentacles, 5 of Pentacles is reversed, so I didn't think of it as a pentacle. So it's 4, 5. So 3, 4, 5, 7, and King. So we are definitely looking at a progression through. So, you know, finding that thing that you really love, doing your hobbies and the things that interest you. You know, it could be that during those hobbies, sometimes you lose all track of time with this Kairos, so you kind of enter into that divine timing. And so as you're entering into that, you know, don't, you know, be careful, but I think it is part of the journey that we have to learn the balance of holding on too tightly and yet being secure enough with our money that we're balancing it properly and balancing our budgets. So as we're learning how to properly handle our money, we may have gone through a time where we didn't have really what we want or what we need, but that, you know, was upside down. It's coming to an end. We're accepting the help we need. We're accepting the direction that we need to go. And as we do that, you know, all of these seeds that we've planted throughout time, Kairos, you know, this time, the seeds that we have planted in time are coming and bearing fruit. And it'll lead us to this, the King of Pentacles, and established wealth, both in financial, but also in happiness, because true wealth is not just having a lot of money. I mean, you need to have time to be able to spend it. So there's kind of that factor too. So in all of that, you know, we're looking at these two, you know, the Knight of Cups is, you know, rushing in, offering this love, excitement, happiness, joy into your life. And you're like, you know, yeah, you know, look at all the things that are coming into my life, and I'm so grateful for them. And so this true feeling of gratefulness is the thing that comes about. And so he, you know, maybe he's sitting here picking, you know, with his Kairos, you know, trying to look at your perspective of your values. You know, he's saying which chip is his, which one is the most valuable to him today, and maybe a new direction of values. Like I said, you know, moving the medallions away from your life so that the sun can shine in and move into your life this happiness and joy. So, well, that is really, really cool message for the new moon. So just to recap, kind of the two major focus are, we have had some glimpses of divine timing in our life in the last 2 weeks. And I believe that will continue to grow and develop. And definitely take a look at, Chronos and Kairos and see what the difference of the two words are and whatnot. And then also to this next 2 weeks to realign your values, reassess them, knowing that a lot of abundance, both the freedom to enjoy your life and the abundance to have in it are coming into your life. But we need to push away some of these things that are in the way from the full sun shining into our lives. So let's take a look at the wellness deck. Abraham Hicks. I try to listen to Abraham Hicks every day. Okay. Oh, I love the color. Isn't that gorgeous? My purpose in life is joy. So I think it's tomorrow. I have a daily message from Gabriel coming out on my Facebook and Instagram. The daily messages, and so, like January 4th, January 5th, January 6th. And I think it's tomorrow that, what is the purpose of life? What is the meaning of life? And I put joy. What's your ideas? But here it is. My purpose in life is joy. And of course I got it from Abraham Hicks. That's our reason for being here. And look at these flowers. It's like they're cogs in the wheel of time in a clock. So, this time that we're spending on earth, manifesting joy is more important than manifesting wealth, because as we manifest joy, all those other things will come to us. The basis of your life is freedom. The purpose of your life is joy. That's cool. The basis of your life is freedom. The purpose of your life is joy. You are free to choose new avenues for joy. And in your joyous growth, you will add to the experience of all that is. And so you're here to grow and add to the development of the universe and the expansion of the universe and expanding the joy within the universe. Well, thank you for coming all the way to the end of the reading. So nice to have you here. And this is the new moon in Capricorn that's coming up here shortly. And I just invite you to come to the live that I always have on my Facebook for the new moon, and look at some of the things that we would like to manifest.